if you do have that corridor and somebody lays down a sickening radiance at the end of it, this could keep them in there.
What's doing more of the work in that instance? The Gust of Wind or the Sickening Radiance? Would a door be as serviceable as a Gust of Wind in that instance?
Were you gonna build a door?
With many magic spells?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the spell Gust of Wind.
I don't want to blow into the microphone because that's obnoxious.
Whoa.
Got him. This is a cute little second level spell. I, for the longest time, thought you put this somewhere and then got turned it around. But no, this comes out of your mouth or your face or whatever. In Bob's case, probably your butt, given his
No, you know
jokes.
what? No. This one's
No,
not on me. We're going to talk about this. This is on the creators.
because it requires a legume seed.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, this second level spell does concentration, which I think is its biggest problem. Its cast time is an action, range is self. Verbal spell material components, material component being a legume seed, concentration, a minute. Along a line of strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blasts from you in a direction you choose for the spell's duration. Each creature that starts its turn in that line makes a strength saving throw or is pushed 15 feet away from you in a direction following the line. Any creature in the line must spend 2 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves when moving closer to you. The gust disperses gas, vapor, and extinguishes candles, torches, and similar unprotected flames in the area. It causes protected flames, such as those of lanterns, to dance wildly and has a 50% chance to extinguish them, which is a lot of words for not an effect. As a bonus action on each turn, you can change the direction in which the line blasts from you, which is funny because once you put it somewhere, no matter how you move, it's still just blasting that way. You have the bonus action to turn it. That's fun. I like that a lot.
Wait. All right. Yeah. So if it is coming out of your butt, you turn around and it's just going like,
Yes. I
that's weird.
believe.
Yeah.
Yes. The fact that I would have assumed it just came out of wherever, and as you moved and turned, it would move and turn with you, but no. I think the fact that the last line text is stating, as a bonus action you turn, you can change the direction of which the line blasts from you. That to me indicates that it is a fixed direction. So, like, I gust of wind in front of me, and if I
Yeah.
move or turn, it remains going that direction.
All right.
That
Well,
is
it
my
does. I
reading
mean, it doesn't say comes from a particular part of you. It's just
yes,
coming from you.
from
It's
you.
you're not blowing or farting necessarily. Yeah. The wind is just emanating from the point at which you're standing.
Correct.
So, but it does. If you move, it's still going in the same, flowing in the same direction, but it is moving with you. Correct.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
You will be moving and it'll be firing in the same direction no matter how you are moving as you may
Right.
navigate a battle map.
Unless you're using a bonus action to change that.
Correct.
Um, Now let's get the legume seed out of the way. This is I can't help but think it has to be a fart joke. Yes.
Yeah, of course it's
Yeah.
a fart
Okay.
joke. Absolutely, it's a bean. That's the
Yeah.
joke. Yeah,
Yeah.
beans make you
Uh,
toot.
you know what? I know you love these little jokes they do in the components. I don't like them. It's that takes away from the magic for me. Like
That it
I
only enhances the magic for me.
so I want my components to be like Eye of Newt or like a bug leg or something like if something creepy and mystical. Yeah, I don't need fart jokes. I want to bring the fart jokes. We went over this with Jim's magic missile. You leave that to me, D&D.
I think there's a pretty large difference between hypoallergenic whatever in a spell
Oh yeah,
description and a legume seed as a cute nod to farting. Like there's a pretty big difference. This
yes,
is
yeah. Oh yeah,
very
yeah.
subtle,
This
right?
doesn't anger me nearly as much as Jim's magic missile. It doesn't anger me at all. It's just
You
I
just
don't
don't
care
prefer.
for the their little cute jokes in the components. I want I want weird shit that is supposed to be, you put this together to make a magical effect, you
I
know.
think like magic ingredients in the potions and stuff have a history of being inside jokes to some degree, or like, warnings against doing drugs and stuff. That's like how people have worked for a long time. But
Yeah.
I guess I have Newt specifically as an iconic one. I don't know why that one would have historical relevance, but I'd guess a lot of historical potion ingredients and magic reagents have some amount of jokiness in them. People like
Yeah,
to be clever. They like to make funny inside references to be like, oh, look how smart I am. And that's what this is. That's cute. I like them.
that's
It's like
fine.
the Mercury on the last spell we just did. What was the spell we just did, Bob? Two
Floating
minutes ago?
disc.
Floating disc. Yeah. I think it's a cute reference, cute
I
nod.
think you mean yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. That's 100% what I mean. We do these daily. Like we sit down for 20 minutes daily and record these. Uh anyway, back to Gust of Wind. This is for druids, sorcerers, wizards. Tempest Women get it for free. Genie and Fathomless have it on their list. Notably doesn't upcast. It's a lot worse on warlocks. Like I think this is pretty horrendous on warlocks, honestly. Because I don't even think it's that good on the classes that get it. I don't
I
know.
think, well, I mean, you know me and my forced movement. So so yeah, if it starts its turn in the line, it can be pushed. This is like continual forced movement potentially.
Yeah, but the
Uh,
line is not wide. It's 10 feet total, right?
yeah,
So it's not hard to get out of. They get pushed by 15 feet, move 5 feet to their left, and they're out of it, and then reapproach you,
yeah, but I
right?
mean, you get a, if it as long as you don't get your concentration broken, you get a second bite at the apple.
That's a very, very big if, right? Like this could just do stone nothing if you cast this. The creatures that you want to hit are in your line, but there's two others. One of them hits you with a stray arrow, and now your concentration drops. That's a real use
Well,
case that could happen with
that's
this, right?
any concentration spell. Yeah.
But you don't. My point is, those effects. A lot of concentration effects normally give you something immediately. Summon spells give you a buddy immediately that will take a turn before anything else can, and you will at least get that turn. Haste, you can set up in such a fashion that the hasted creature is very likely, at least, to get a turn before you have the opportunity to ruin their life. This, I don't see that as much because you have to cast this in combat because it takes an action, only lasts a minute. This is
Hmm.
very, very hard to prep, right? So you want to cast this when it has the impact, when you got the things in the line, and in
Right.
that window, I don't even know how good that is.
I, I think it's got a lot of potential. You gotta, I mean, if, like I say, with any kind of forced movement, if there's a reason to force the movement.
So like Druids want to be the ones that have that in the low tier. They're the ones setting that up with their concentration, right? That's the spike growth effect. That's its job. But like wizards could wall of fire, set it up themselves. Sorcerers I don't think have room for this. I can see Tempest Domain clerics maybe busting this out as their concentration effect alongside a druid or wizard that's doing the area control stuff. That seems like a pretty decent home to me. But even then, 15 foot in a straight line push for a second level spell slot isn't good. And I
I,
think
I'm, I
to get
am,
more out of that, I'm not gonna find that likely to occur.
I am still working under the delusion of cooperative play.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm saying in that delusion, do you spend a second level spell slot and your concentration to trigger it once?
To trigger it once? No. I mean, I'm also
How
going
many
to
times
suffer
do
the
you,
delusion that I gotta keep my concentration up as well.
or even if you do keep your concentration up, that you're going to be able to position yourself in such a fashion that you're going to be able to get that 15-foot line-based push based off your movement and bonus action. I mean, you can't have anything you want to do with the bonus action if you want
Right.
to reposition to that effect. And they're going to move in such a position that you can knock them back into it, right?
Um,
That seems like
I'm,
a ton of hoops.
I don't know. It doesn't feel that way. I mean, with 60 feet to work with, it feels doable. Like if they're already pretty close to what you want to push them into, then you can try and figure out where they want to go, put yourself between them so that they have to go this way, slowed down by your wind. And if they choose to go a different way, that is suboptimal for them. You you win that way.
So like looking at the setup, if you put down like a spike growth, you have to get around the spike growth. If someone puts down a wall of fire, you have to get around the wall of fire if you want to set it up like that, right? Because something that goes through it once is now on the other side of it and can maneuver in a fashion that doesn't put you anywhere near it, and you're not in a good position to follow up on that. Your speed isn't going to get you there unless you're dashing. And I sure am not wasting actions dashing after I already wasted an action casting this.
Well, wait a second. What? Why are they on the other side? I
So
figure they're coming.
you're
You're both on this side of the spike growth,
yes.
and you're trying to push them into it
Yeah, you push them into it, they exit it on the other
on
side.
the other
Now
side.
what?
Well, now they're much farther away from you. Even
You see
better.
that as a big win. I don't see that as that big of a win. I'm unconvinced. I've seen this spell in play. I had a friend that was like, I'm going to show you this spell's good. He didn't. He did not show me that this spell was good. He had it up. It was a pain in the ass for some of his teammates, but it didn't really do much. It almost pushed something off of a flying platform. Almost. And then they could teleport right back up to it. So, like, it was in an environment where I would have expected this to be at its best. The 15 feet just isn't that much for it, and the cooperative nature of it, and even when the cooperative nature is set up, I'm not convinced that it's going to do that much. Like, this is horrendous because it is so bad by pushing things into gaseous effects. If you put down like a cloud kill, this disperses the cloud kill. So like you can't even use this to push people into some of the damaging effects you'd want to set up.
Well, no, yeah, I mean, I was thinking that's a little extra perk. If somebody casts a cloud kill on you, goodbye cloud kill. That's
I'm not seeing that as that much of an extra. I think you're about as likely to see your ally set up a cloud kill as someone is to cast it on you.
yeah.
Uh
Yeah, that if that's all it did, I wouldn't be excited about this.
True. It's a 15-foot push. We haven't talked about things moving in the line. So like the
Yeah.
best scenario I see for this is probably there's like a tunnel in a dungeon with a trap somewhere in the middle of it. You triggered the trap already, you run back through it, something's chasing you, you turn around, gust of wind them, they fall into that trap again, and then have a very hard time approaching you. That's sort of like the best use case scenario I see for this, right? Is
Right.
that kind of scenario. If you're just in a situation where you have a long corridor and you gust of wind it, it's just kind of like a 60-foot pillar of difficult terrain. If they're only melee range, that could still be good. Like if you're like a halfling
Yeah.
or gnome, we're just like go drop prone and just throw this out there, so their range attacks aren't hitting you anyway because they're disadvantaged, and then your allies can just really well on them while they're running down at you at a slow speed. Maybe that's something, but then you need a very long corridor. You need less quite turns, and if you're in a dungeon, like I don't expect to see 60-foot long corridors that often. They're normally more windy. There's normally like turns and curves and bends and stuff. So like the exact situation where this will be really good, I think won't happen at a lot of tables anymore. And the tables it does happen, it's not even every dungeon.
But I mean, if you do have if you do have that corridor and somebody lays down a sickening radiance at the end of it, this could keep them in there.
What's doing more of the work in that instance? The Gust of Wind or the Sickening Radiance? Would a door be as serviceable as a Gust of Wind in that instance?
Were you gonna build a door?
With many magic spells?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's true.
Yes, I am.
Now you're advocating for fabricate.
Sure am not. I'm just saying that if we're equating this to fabricate, it's not in a good space. Rolling a rock in front of it is effective. Pulling furniture over is effective.
Ah,
I'm pretty low on this thing. I don't think it's uncastable. It's just quite bad.
well, I'm definitely higher on it than you are. It's level 2 seems a little steep, but
I do think it gets a lot more interesting if we're a level 1 spell. I think the cost is just way too high, and it's just not going to have any impact. Like, level 3 maybe is when it's at its best, and then past that, you definitely have better things to concentrate on this than this, right?
probably. I think a wizard can find room for this.
Can they? They get Conjure Minor Elementals and that kind of goodness. They get
I know,
Banishment,
but I mean,
Polymorph.
yeah,
They get
they just
really,
throw-
really good spells, Bob.
I know, but they can throw it in their book, and if you're going out on an adventure with in suitable terrain to make use of this, then yeah, prepare it that day.
I'd say if you're out of ritual spells, you want to put in your book, maybe this goes in as that niche case.
Hmm.
I'm not convinced. I think Tempest Domain's probably where it's at its best because they always have to prepare this. You'll have those small windows where it will crop up and be like, oh, this could be marginally interesting here. That'll happen more often. I don't think
Yeah,
I'm
I like
often
that.
wanting to prepare this, right?
I like that there are subclasses that force it on you.
Just
Then
one,
you'll,
but
yeah. I mean, not it, but these spells that you wouldn't normally use.
yeah.
That you're gonna find some fun uses if that's one of the spells you have automatically.
Yeah, I think my ideal free class spell list includes at each level 1-2 that's like niche and 1-4 that's just good. You want it. It's fun expansion of what this class's identity
Yeah.
is. I think that's what my ideal class sub or spell list or expanded spells would look like. This definitely is the 2 of that category. I think it looks great on those. So, do you agree this is a 2, or do you think it's better than that?
Now I'm gonna go up to a 3 on this one. I feel like well, I mean, you've seen it in play with somebody that wanted to challenge you specifically and failed.
It wasted a lot of actions for not a lot of payoff.
Well, I'm gonna champion that guy, and I'm gonna give it a 3. And hopefully, some commenters will vindicate my decision below. So I call on you, dear viewers. Let us know how you've used this and good Gust of Wind stories. Or tell us it's crap. That's fine too.
Also, let me know if I got the last line right. If like it is a fixed position, or if that like somehow like a vacuum or something. I don't know. If we got the rules on this wrong, I'd also love to hear it. I don't think it changes my thought on this, even if it's still just pushing and pulling. But let me up if we're wrong.
We never talked about open flames. I think
Does that
it's
ever
pretty
matter?
crap that it only. Well, yeah. I mean, let us extinguish flames. What was this 50% chance? This is a level 2 spell.
It's a really
Give us
funny
that.
line of text. It's like the most needlessly overcomplicated to like, well, if the wind is in a slightly, or the flame is in a slightly inconvenient space, it doesn't necessarily go out. That's hilarious.
Oh, all right. That was Gust of Wind. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.